Hello there, everypony. My name is Nightlife, and I am back, motherfuckers. I know it's been a very, very inexcusably, executionably long time since I've last uploaded, and I'm going to list off the reasons for you in chronological order. One, I lost my equipment, meaning my jury rig little piece of crap headset. And then Thanksgiving. And then Halloween. Then Thanksgiving. Then Christmas. And in the meantime, all kinds of life happened. But yeah. Uh, there we go. That better? Is that better? Is it better? It better be. It better be better. Well, I'm going to get right to it. This is chapter 12 of Vanel and Octavia University Days. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I need to up. And if you want, I am going to read chapter 16.5 and other. Oh, I've also decided I'm opening myself to Klopvik suggestions, but be warned, I will read them in my Gilbert Gottfried impression voice. So if you want me to read Klopvik's in this voice, just tell me and I'll do it. uh, Gilbert Gottfried reads 50 Shades of Grey. Come on. One moment. Okay, let's get on to the reading, shall we? Chapter 12 of Vinyl and Octavia University Days by Dawn Fade on fanfiction.net. 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry for that ear-killing buzz sound you may have heard, but I am back, and apparently my levels will be a bit more kind. Vinyl had never felt more nervous in her life, or more excited. She hadn't moved since Octavia left. She couldn't move. Every muscle was frozen, each hoof rooted to the ground by thoughts. She's already. Come on, voice, quit derping out. She said she liked it. The DJ licked her lips again, and as she had been doing for the past half hour, but she tasted naught but skin. No, she said she didn't hate it. There's a difference. She was just trying to spare my feelings. But that painful thought was quickly obliterated by virtue of a simple fact. She kissed me first. Oh, virtue of a simple fact. That's a great name for a band. Finally, a grin broke through her conflicted expression. As the sun finally broke through the clouds outside and shone through the window, so too did that simple reality burn away her shadowed doubts and worries. No matter what had happened when Octavia got back, she would always have that knowledge. Vinyl trudged over to the computer. She didn't feel like making music anymore. The reason being what had started as an escape from reality had accidentally turned into the biggest reminder in the room. So she simply saved her progress and powered down her equipment. Quit being derped. Without the gentle whirring of her computer, the room seemed oddly muffled. The absence of noise was just as distracting as having the volume on maximum. "Hurry up, Philly," she said, immediately feeling stupid as she felt as the words left her mouth. "Yeah, hurry up and deal with your emotional issues, which I probably caused, by the way, and get back here because I'm lonely." Why am I such an idiot? the unicorn whispered, smacking her face with a hoof. Clop. Face hard as stone. Roid rage. Yeah! Before any suitable answer presented itself, the stifling silence was broken by the turning of a handle. She held her breath as the gray mare, on whom all her thoughts were focused on, entered the room. The cellist was smiling, but Vanna was too nervous to return it. Swallowing, she decided to let her roommate speak first. It was a tense few moments before Octavia closed the door and walked over to her. Each second an eternity. Each hoof step a thunderclap. Sarcastic clapping. Sarcastic thunderclap. I'm guessing you feel better now? Chuckled the DJ. Oh, wait, I skipped an entire paragraph. But no words came. But no words ever came. Splort. I'm gonna say splort every time I hear the word came. Instead, there was a blur of motion and a sudden feeling of warmth against her chest. Vinyl hugged her back without a second thought, finally letting a smile slip out. I'm guessing you feel better now? Chuckled the DJ. Octavia squeezed even harder, pressing her cheek into the other mare's white coat. Octavia couldn't help but inhale as much of the cellist's scent as possible, trying to commit it to memory forever. Vinyl couldn't help. Went back. There were no defining traits of the smell, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't even think of enough words to describe it. All that came to mind was the name, Octavia. Octavia, I used to play the cello, so mellow. Octavia. I'm sorry, I'm listening too much CR. It encapsulated everything the scent meant, every feeling it induced within her, all the fury and want and innocent desire she had denied for weeks, in a single word. Octavia, she said shakily, closing her eyes in order to reinforce the feeling of gray skin against her skin. What happened to her coat? Yes, Vinyl, replied the mayor in question. Please tell me this means what I think it means. They pulled back in unison so they could see each other's face. The DJ slowly raised her head to meet the cellist's gaze. What do you think it means? She asked as Vinyl desperately tried not to get lost in the endless violet of her eyes. Her heart pounded. I had vocal diarrhea. And it sang Broadway. Like the singing frog that drove everyone batshit. Her heart pounded in her ears. Vinyl tried to form the words that had seemed so simple a few minutes ago. I like you. The statement sent her heat rushing over the unicorn's body, but she had to be sure. Like, giggled the cellist. And so the time for words drew to a close. Vinyl celebrated the occasion by pushing forward and kissing her roommate as hard as she could. Octavia squeaked in surprise, but didn't try to pull away. The room was quiet, but for the sound of locked lips, heavy breathing, and the quietest vocalizations of happiness. Aww. It was a moment they could never lose, one that would define their bond in the coming days. Standing as they were in the dusty glass-filtered sunlight. Ew, dusty sunlight. Get the light. Get the light, dust sweeper. heavy petting. It looked as though a new dawn had arrived, marking their beginning with its own. I don't know what heavy petting means. If anyone knows what heavy petting means, please tell me. I am but an innocent young foal. It was only when a slightly less than refined noise escaped Octavia's mouth that they recalled their senses. Belch. Or yawn. The offending mare cleared her throat as even more blood rushed to her cheeks. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Vinyl leaned in to to nuzzle her. Not a chance, she whispered back. She whispered through her smile. Octavia stepped backwards out of the DJ's reach, panting slightly. I think we need to stop for a little while. I haven't eaten since breakfast. For a few seconds, Vinyl contemplated pushing forward and continuing, but something about the cellist's body language told her such actions wouldn't receive many objections. But wasn't being pushy the reason why Octavia got stressed out in the first place? No, this time she would do things right. Atta girl. Wanna head out and get something then? Grateful for the few seconds to catch her breath, the gray mare raised an eyebrow thoughtfully. Do you have anywhere in mind? How about we just go walking and see where we end up? Suggested Vinyl, floating her glasses over from her desk. That sounds perfect. But as the unicorn made for the door, Vinyl stepped in her own path via doppelganger from the Doctor Who's, and the amazing Ditsy Do with unicorn horn instead of wings, and a bat butt. No, just no. Octavia stepped in her path. Do you think you could leave your glasses here? Huh? That's what I'm thinking. Why? The cellist sheepishly pawed at the ground with her right foreleg. Because you have very pretty eyes. They shouldn't be hidden away. Vinyl's mouth worked, but nothing came out. In her 18 years of existence, no pony had complimented her eyes. At least, not sincerely. While she had been lucky enough to escape most of the teasing during high school, there had still been a few incidences. But, at least for a moment, the DJ forgot about all those ponies from her past. Instead, she removed the glasses and set them down once more. She suddenly felt very vulnerable from the reminder of how the world looked behind tinted glasses. Really? She asked as in a small voice. The other mare must have sensed the change in mood, for she quickly moved closer. Vinyl, they're beautiful. She touched Vinyl's cheek. You are beautiful. Aww. As corny as that was, thanks. They moved forward simultaneously for a quick peck, careful not to get carried away again. Well, Octavia adjusted her mane once more. Shall we? I gotta stop doing that. Wow, it's 9:30, and I'm Yawn City. I'm gonna take a short break. Okay, I just got back from watching Ruby, that's RWBY. Type it into YouTube and click the very first thing that comes on. You will not, I repeat, you will not be disappointed. Yeah, it's good. As expected, the streets were still cold and gray. The icy wind ripped through all who dared venture outside, sending papers and manes alike into disarray. Most of the stores were open, but the cafes had all moved their tables inside and closed their shutters. From behind each door, the warm glow of light beckoned. But Vinyl was just fine where she was, walking beside a certain gray mare, trying desperately to salvage her hair. This was an awful idea, she called over the wind. Just let it go, replied the laughing DJ. It'll look ridiculous. There's no pony around. Who cares? With a final futile attempt to wrangle her mane, the show sighed in defeat and lowered her hoof. Within seconds, her charcoal, bleh. I made this all fucking tone mark. I fucking see it. Her charcoal hair was billowing freely behind her. I feel ridiculous. She sulked. Oh, come on. My mane's going crazy, too. Octavia gave her a flat look. Your mane is crazy whether the wind is blowing or not. The difference is that it suits you. The unicorn grinned and bumped her flank against the other mare, eliciting an amusing squeak. You can fix everything when we get to wherever we're going. Until then, be free, young one. I don't get it. Though she returned the grin after a moment's hesitation, it quickly took on a more sinister appearance. Without thinking, Octavia darted closer and bit lightly on the DJ's exposed ear. Oh, I thought I said... Oh, ear. I thought I said rear for a second. Exposed ear. It took less than a second, but the results were substantial. Vinyl stumbled and fell on her chest, hind legs in the air. The treble clef-marked mare started to giggle, but stopped abruptly as her brain caught up with her actions. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you alright? She quickly helped her roommate stand back up. Her white cheeks were red, probably from hitting the ground, but otherwise there were no visible injuries. That was straight up mean. The unicorn tried to look angry, but she couldn't help hold back a smirk. If the Chillus was one of those ponies who had unclean thoughts, she wondered if Vinyl liked being bitten on the ear. Thankfully, she was not one of those ponies, and definitely didn't wonder anything of the sort. Or so you tell us, narrator. Vinyl turned. Vinyl stroked your clitoris. No. Vinyl turned her. Too far. Vinyl turned her attention back to the road ahead. To her relief, she saw an enticing little diner on the corner of the street. It was one of the older kinds, or made to look that way, with red seats lining little. Got a frog in my throat. Ribbit. To her relief, she saw with red seats lining the booths, lining the little booths, not the lining little booths. A long bar in the center from which to order, and checkered floors that gave the whole building a decidedly old-fashioned atmosphere. One that the DJ, despite her love of technology, felt instantly attracted to. An old-fashioned date in an old-fashioned diner. I bet Octavia would love this. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? No. What do you think about this place? She asked nonchalantly. Octavia raised an eyebrow at the building in question, but soon broke into. Why? But soon broke into a warm smile. It does have a certain charm about it. The two mares trotted quickly through the door, eager to escape the cold. As expected, it was like walking into an open room on a summer day. Octavia immediately set to work trying to restore her mane to at least a semi-presentable state. Well, Vinyl made a beeline for a middle booth that looked out onto the street. Aww. Most of the tables and booths were occupied by other ponies who had also decided to take refuge from the weather. Their conversations and presence served to make the whole place feel welcoming. The DJ sat down and scooted over so the window was right next to her, intentionally making her roommate choose between sitting beside or across from her. To her unspoken delight, Octavia sat down next to her and moved close enough so that they could be muzzle to muzzle if they turned towards each other. To hide her ear-to-ear grin, the unicorn looked out onto the window into the darkening street, unaware of her friend's joy as she was. Octavia cleared her throat nervously and whispered, "Am I too close?" "Oh, you so much jaws." The high walls between each booth would prevent other patrons from seeing, so Vinyl turned back and daringly snaked her hoof across the gray mare's waist, across her waist, and bitch slapped her in the pussy. No. Around the gray mare's waist, pulling her for a quick side hug. "Philly, you can never be too close to me." Aww. Octavia giggled and risked a quick peck on Vinyl's cheek, causing them both to break out in barely stifled laughter. Only the sudden proximity of a waiter broke them out of their mirth. What can I get the two of you?" he asked. "Oh, sorry. What can I get the two of you?" "One of those tall sparkling will bounce you off my pecs." "Mm-hmm." No, I'm kidding. I have, I don't actually know what's on the menu. Any recommendations?" Vinyl tried to remain nonchalant as she subtly removed her hoof from the other mare's waist. "Well, our dinner menu has everything from carrot roast to pumpkin soup. Or," he added slyly, "we have a couple's special that might interest you." Octavia's ears folded back as she looked around, as though some pony else would be hiding in the booth. Vinyl gave him a flat, unamused stare. He raised an eyebrow, then blinked in understanding. "Oh, my apologies. Still, undercover, are you? Not that's any of my business, of course." The Stein lowered his voice. "But would you like the couple special?" Since the cellist couldn't quite bring herself to look him in the eyes, Vinyl answered for her in the form of a slight nod. The waiter winked and quickly trotted out of sight. "I'm sorry, Vinyl," Octavia said guiltily. "I'm being rather obvious, aren't I?" She said. She slid away slightly so they weren't quite as close. "Hey, I'm not exactly keeping things on the down low either. We just gotta be careful." The unicorn shuddered. "Can you imagine what it'd be like if Psyche found out?" "Awful, I'd imagine." Octavia hid her small smile under the pretense of looking out of the booth for the tutor. "Yeah, and that Lara chick too. She's such a language. We're in public." Oh right. Scratching the back of her head, Vinyl. Too far. All right. Vinyl grinned sheepishly. "Well, she is." The cellist shrugged, deciding not to take a side until she knew the results of her last encounter with the admittedly uncivilized mint green mare. After all, Octavia knew what it was like to be judged without question. The least she could do was try to prevent the cycle from continuing. By the time their meal arrived, the sun had completely vanished from view, cloaking the street outside in pitch black fog, punctuated by the occasional street lamp. But their attention was far from the miserable weather. 2 bowls of soup had been placed in front of them, bringing an intense, spicy aroma to the booth. Octavia had been cautious, but upon tasting it, found it was barely classable as hot. Confused as she was by the contrast between the taste and scent, she was unable to name a single ingredient in it. The taste was odd, but far from unpleasant. Oh, I think I know what this is. Strangely similar to her first kiss with vinyl. Ooh. The thought sent a wave of heat up her neck, which the DJ noticed. Spice finally kicking in, huh? Lucky. Mine is pathetic. She spooned another helping into her mouth. Still pretty good, though. It's aphrodisiac soup. Aphrodisiac. Froze. Afros. They're awesome. Ah, yes, the spice. The cellist dabbed her mouth with a napkin. Well, perhaps it will keep us warm when we walk home. Vinyl winced, looking outside. Oh, geez, I forgot about that. I think we'll need something stronger in our stomachs. A thought struck her as she turned to her roommate. Hey, when's your birthday again? Oh, soon. Come on, tell me. You said it was a couple weeks away when we first went to Blues, and that was like 3 months ago. Well, we had only just met, and I wasn't about to tell you when my birthday was, replied Octavia indignantly, as though birthdays were somehow sacred knowledge. Vinyl rolled her eyes. I think you've gotten to know each other pretty well by now. You haven't the slightest clue. The cellist reddened once more and told herself it was the soup. All right then, if you insist. My birthday's in 3 weeks, just after the exams. Ooh, convenient. Sweet, I'll throw a party for you. Oh yeah. Maybe we can get Pinky at the Rock Farms, just so she can help you out. Oh wait, is Pinky still on the Rock Farms at this point in time? I don't know. Flat. Just like my feelings for you.
Just like my feelings for you. I should stroke my clitoris.
No. No. No Godfrey this time. The DJ began to get excited at the prospect, which made Octavia feel even more ashamed of her next words. Vinyl? Who would I invite? After a moment, her roommate visibly slumped, only to perk back up seconds later. It can be just the 2 of us. Oh my gosh. We'll have our own party with card games and booze. Card games and booze. Go fish. Take a drink. Glug 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 glug. Ah, too far. Card games and booze. Glug glug glug. A whole day with you? Why, Vinyl? It's just what I wanted. The gray mare covered her mouth with her hooves in mock excitement. Hey, don't knock until you tried it. Trust me, it'll be awesome. Nosebleed. Nosebleed. Nope, frog. As their bowls ran dry and the dinner began to empty, the pair decided to begin the long walk home. The gray pony looked into the darkness and shivered. We need to buy boots. Boots on hooves and bikinis on top. Equestrian girls. Yeah. Spike. Bananas. Apple juice. Bananas. Just retarded. And scarves, agreed the white pony. For a couple of minutes they walked in silence, save for the chattering of teeth and the slow trudging of hooves on pavement. Lionel couldn't help but chuckle at the silliness of the situation. If we freeze to death in the middle of Manhattan, I'm gonna be so angry. Octavia didn't reply, instead moving closer to her roommate, enjoying the warmth of her radiating offer. Heh, good idea. Nice old-fashioned body heat. Always good to always good to fall back on. Can't go wrong with it, that's for sure. Whoa. Babble much? The DJ realized she was babbling and swallowed nervously. After that the weird taste-defying soup, she was starting to have some very interesting thoughts, and it wasn't helping that the subject of many of them was practically pressed up against her. Oh my. Apparently the other mayor was feeling something similar, for she moved closer and rubbed her cheek against Vinyls' neck. Her eyes were closed, and a silly smile made it clear that she wasn't thinking quite as logically as normal. Oh, Celestia, she's so soft. Oh my gosh. You were right there, Octavia. As much as she hated to interrupt, this wasn't the way she wanted whatever was happening. The charcoal-maned mare seemed to snap out of her daze, quickly halting in her happy nuzzling. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost track of my thoughts for a second. Oh, so much jaw. Yeah, me too. I think that dude wasn't kidding when he said couples special. Vinyl forced aphrodisiac soup. Vinyl forced a laugh to keep her thoughts from straying. What do you mean? Octavia decided to play dumb, hoping her blush wasn't visible in the night. Well, don't you feel, she rigged her mind for the right word. Frisky? I was blaming that on being in close proximity to you, she admitted. A triumphant grin split Vinyl's lips as she puffed her chest out. Yeah, I have that effect on ponies. Oh, shush you. Octavia lightly shoved the unicorn away. The campus was far better lit than the city, for which they were grateful. The only sounds were from a few drunken revelers stumbling from the direction of the university tavern. Octavia shook her head and sighed. Some students just didn't know how to spend an evening. By the time they stumbled through the doorway into their room, most of the weird feelings had subsided. All that was left was the sleepy feeling of contentedness. This time, as she leaned against Vinyl, she yawned and tried to move closer. The DJ chuckled and spoke so softly it was hard to tell if she was meant for her to hear. You are so cute. Vinyl led over to her bed, not really caring about who it belonged to. Or led her over to her bed. Come on, I'm feeling pretty tired too. Octavia did as she was directed, crawling beneath the covers and curling up. Even after the blanket was pulled up, she shivered slightly. She frowned in thought for a moment, but the solution quickly presented itself. With the pulse of tired magic, the unicorn lifted the blanket from the other bed and brought it over her, giving the cellist another layer. Apparently she wasn't completely checked out yet, as she raised her neck in concern. But you'll be cold, she said softly. Vana shrugged. Hey, I've slept in the street before. This is fun. What? Me too, girl. Me too. No, get in. It took an entire millisecond before the DJ gave in to her roommate's demand. Well, if you insist. Wow, a millisecond. That's like nearly a second. Dang, DJ, you're losing your touch. She struggled to suppress her grin as she slid in beside Octavia, loving the warmth of bodies of both the blanket and the mare. Her own questionable feelings had fled as well, but what remained was no less powerful. Here she was, cuddling with the pony who had plagued her dreams for so long. How many of those dreams had ended like this, only for her to wake to find her bed empty? She squeezed harder, refusing to let go. If this was a dream, she never wanted to wake up. Do you know what the strangest thing about this is? What? Whispered Octavia. Voss shook her head slightly. What? The cellist snuggled again closer to her DJ. To her Come on, it's almost to her DJ. It doesn't feel strange at all. Aww, you're just so cute. You pony's being cute. Okay, author's note time. There is a super paraphrased super parasprite a slurpy smoothie. No, super paraphrased Futurama reference in this one. Name it, and I would give you a e-cookie. A little note on names. In my stories, writers give surnames to ponies who only have a first name. Octavia, such as Octavia for a canon example, Rarity. While some characters do have full names that, like Pinkamena Diane Pie, I think it's wrong to assume that all of Equestria follows the same naming conventions. In university days, Octavia does not have a last name, and neither does Psyche. I actually wrote an essay-length document explaining why, as well as as well as tackling the issues of identification and individuality in Equestria. But then I realized that people don't read the story for the tired ramblings at the end of each chapter. They read it for the tired ramblings that make up each chapter. Hope you enjoyed. At long last, chapter 12 of Vinyl and Octavia University Days. Peace, my little ponies. Peace and love and tolerance and that strange in-between tolerance and love hate. You know where you hate someone so much you just gotta fuck the shit out of them.